All right, joining me now on set, two smart kids. John Carney, Breitbart Economics Finance Editor and co-author of the Breitbart Business Digest, and Joe Lavorgna, Chief Economist at SMBC and former National Economic Council Chief Economist at the White House, and America First Senior Fellow. All right, kids, I want to talk about retail sales and consumer spending and industrial production. But first, you guys, you know these numbers. This is a massive spending and borrowing binge. It's the CBO numbers. And I don't know what Biden's talking about. Joe Lavorgna, you first. You sweated it out at the NEC with me. What do you think of this? Terrific stuff? Is he cutting spending? Is he cutting borrowing?
I remember you said to me, I said, we should just spend the money on Corona. It was $800 billion or whatever it was, and 900 became. And I said, and you said, the only person that agreed with me on the White House grounds was POTUS, because it wasn't an entitlement, and people needed it. Clearly, the CBO numbers, I mean, I would say they're nonpartisan, but maybe err on the more Keynesian liberal side.
But these are big numbers.
Of course, they're huge
That's
numbers.
My point.
And but Larry, the thing that bothers me when I look at these big deficits and why the bond vigilantes don't exist anymore is the Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve has allowed the government to grow at a much faster rate, a much bigger rate, and keeping interest rates down. And while we've got inflation now, what we had over the past decade, 2 decades, was massive inflation of financial assets and real assets. That's where extra liquidity went. But certainly the story you just described with massive deficits and spending will depress economic activity, which depresses wages. And middle and lower income households will suffer because they don't hold the most assets.
And John, the other point here, I mean, it's a $20 trillion increase in deficits, but I mean, that's almost beyond comprehension.
And Biden's bragging about, he keeps saying he's reducing the deficit.
Right.
But you can look at the numbers.
Here's the numbers. I mean, here's the numbers. You can go out and get them. Don't take my word for it. They're right here. Here, I'm going to go on the full screen, show this. Now go ahead and just
CBO says it's going up. And look,
how's the Fed going to keep 2% inflation? Seriously, to Joe's point, it's a very important point. With that kind of borrowing over the next 10 years,
sure.
We think the Fed will not monetize it or will not?
Of course they're going to monetize it. Look, why we got in this trouble was Joe Biden's decision to spend that extra $1.9 trillion. We would have had inflation coming out of COVID, but that really sparked it, kicked it into high gear. This is a recipe for inflation right here. The Fed is going to have to monetize it in order to keep, if the interest rates are going to be as low as the CBO thinks it's going to be. So that means that we're going to have much higher inflation. Their projections are, in some ways, just completely unrealistic because they don't see the dynamics of inflation rising again.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. All right, Joe Lavorgna, you're Mr. Recession, but you have pretty big numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, the industrial production number was flat. Manufacturing production was up, but the prior months were revised even lower than they were. But retail sales was a big number. What do you think of it?
It was. John and I were talking about this. It's a very big number. It's possible, not to make an excuse, it's possible that it's weather related. And I say that because within that industrial production release, output at gas and utilities, electric and gas, at utilities, fell 10% in the month. That's the biggest drop, Larry, going back to 1939. And ostensibly that's due to warmer weather. So we'll see, because the seasonals in January look for a pullback in activity. If it doesn't happen, or there's a slight increase, you get these monumentally massive numbers like employment and retail sales. But I am still very much in the recession camp.
John, you wrote about the seasonal flaw. I mean, they've never really figured out the post-COVID seasonal, how to deal with that. But then again, the number is the number. Retail sales are up 6.4%. But now as I look at that, and I'm just thinking, I get so tied up with Biden stuff, I don't even get to focus on this as much as I'd like to. But actually, 6.4% is basically the CPI inflation rate.
That's right.
So real retail sales on the year, flat. Zero.
That's right. For the year, we're basically flat. There were some huge numbers in here, like restaurant sales are up 25% for the year. That's a lot more than the 10 or 12% year. So people are spending more money. And I think, as you were saying, the seasonal adjustments have thrown things off. For 3 years in a row now, we've had upside surprises in January. Why is that? Because when you do the seasonal adjustment, that assumes that shopping goes off a cliff in January. And it doesn't do that anymore, mostly because people aren't broke in January like they used to be. because they do their shopping in October. So we get disappointing November, disappointing December, and an upside surprise. This has happened 3 years in a row now. It's going to keep happening because a lot of the economists think this is a temporary, pandemic thing, but I see no signs that people are going back to not shopping early. This has become ingrained. They do it, and partly they do it because they're afraid prices are going to go up and they won't be able to afford what they could buy in October back in December.
You're right, man. Eating and drinking up 25%. Boy, that's a lot of eating and drinking. I haven't looked at seasonals. I only know because I read your report on seasonals, which was very interesting. Joe Lavorgna, the one thing that's not cool in any of this is the inflation surprise yesterday, the CPI surprise. And, people like to slice and dice this number. I don't. In fact, you know who? The smartest Fed governor, Chris Waller, he said we should keep your eye on the overall number. Don't slice and dice. CPI accounting is misleading. So it's a lousy number. What do you make of it? 6.4%. It was worse than people thought. You go through it, there's a lot of bad. Food up 10%. I think groceries up 11% plus. So the Fed's got more work to do.
Well, I'll give you some good news and bad news.
He's a disinflationist. That's why.
Well, that's what I was going to say is don't worry, Larry. The recession will take care of the inflation. That's basically I know. Well, this is the thing. The Fed again. We're way too long in raising rates, and now they're going way too quickly in lifting rates. So it's the classic boom bust cycle. But if you have a recession, prices will moderate. And Chris is right. You're supposed to look at the overall number because that's what sets wage contracts, et cetera. It is coming down. It's certainly not where it needs to be. It is coming down. But if the economy weakens sharply over the course of the year, then that pricing power will dissipate. And especially other things I think we'll talk about like money supply and credit trends and borrowing costs. They all suggest that activity will slow quite significantly.
What do you think, John? First of all, how long the inflation and how high the Fed funds rate?
So I look at these numbers combined with the employment number, 500,000 jobs in January. We saw an 8.7% rise in Social Security benefits because just the cost of living adjustment said. So people had a lot more money in January. I don't see that going away. So I'm worried that actually the Fed is going to have to go a lot higher than the 5.25% people have in. I'm looking at 5.5%, 6%. Yep. I think they have to keep raising unless we get a bad number sometime between now and this summer. But all the stuff we've seen in January, whether it's the manufacturing inside the industrial production, employment, CPI, and then the retail sales, just say that the economy is not decelerating as much as everybody expected it would.
It's interesting if you take the numbers at face value. The month of January was an inflationary boom. That's what the numbers are showing. High CPI and high retail sales. Right. That's not what the Fed wants. I love the boom part. I just don't think much of the inflation part. But you're probably right. The money supply is coming down. The curve is inverted. Commodities, if you look at the commodity value of the dollar, the CRB index has been flat for 6-7 months, so that's another indicator.
I've got a good insight, though, on this, on the inversion.
Real quick.
That might not happen for another 18 months. It inverted back in November, October.
Whoa.
We might be waiting till next year, first quarter, before we get the inevitable recession from the inversion.
We need a new president.
Just in time for the election.
We need a new president. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to choose. We just need a new one. John Carney, Joe Lavorgna. Thank you, John.